Hello and welcome back to Roadwarden. Travelers don't know people, just stories. Let us continue. So we left the rope on the table, and we gave them some rations. What happened to your squad? The man shrugs. Bandits happened, and monsters. A strong band, though, his companion chips in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it, and look for an inn. We had to travel far through the night for a bit. The bearded soldier scoffs and crosses his arm, but she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we would have all died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there the night, lose everything you have. Sounds like slave hunters. Tulia sighs. Very much so. They killed some and took others away, who knows where. They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate, it's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. She looks at you. At least we cleared the roads, saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well? Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a treant. Another ignored my orders to perform some sort of a ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough, didn't tell us that he had a cut in his hand while cleaning his gambeson. She lets out a ghastly chuckle. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey! The man tries to drink from his mug, but it is empty. I mean, you've made this place safer? Barely. Tulia seems tired. And who knows if it was worth the lives and effort. Tulia, how did you become a lieutenant? That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of, what should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Hovlevan chief selects commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced with the next soldier in line. So you were his successor? Nah, not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. She pauses. Oh no! And you were in the third one in line, is that right? Or jumping like that to save mana in mental tech, doesn't that... Yeah, and you were the third one in line, is that right? Okay, good. I thought there was gonna be like, more people here, tragically dying before we finally get to our current lieutenant. Basically, yeah, she says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I got demoted once we returned to the city. Or I will get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. What was your squad's mission? Lieutenant looks into your eyes, you know, the usual. Making the road safe, keeping people alive, not putting proper breaks in before you read the quotes rather than the rest of the sentence. I explained that it may be important for me to know that they have what they have tried to accomplish. I can't really tell you. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. She tilts her head back. Now, if you have any other questions, anything I should know about this camp? The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys, just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. Didn't they mention something about the grass here with their horse earlier, or no? I don't remember. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. You can sleep here whenever you want, the man concludes their tale. Though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. Alright, so we know we can sleep here, but it's not optimal sleeping. If you were me, where would you go next? Soldier answers quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Tulia. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes, stick to trade, don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. Okay, so let's get our pen and paper out. And then drop a pen over that way that I can't take out right now. And then, so in, no jokes. Underscore both those words. It's getting late, we should prepare for the night. I agree, Tulia sighs with relief. And may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant, she winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Open the archive to read the most recent text. Okay, I saw that the last time. Thank you for your help. Stay tidy to have a better chance to influence others. Really? Appearance, 2 out of 5. You don't stand out from the crowd. You won't get much cleaner without a proper bath. Huh. I don't think I've had a bath meter in a game I've played before. You know, outside The Sims or something like that. It'll be an interesting RPG experience. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face as you take a drink from your glass, which makes you even more aware of how much you need to bath and probably shouldn't be drinking on the mic. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I prepare for my watch. This wrist is going to look so fancy on it, we're going to go from 2 out of 5 to 5 out of 5 appearance. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade. Probably. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can find. And there's this one really loud were-elk that keeps smelling the wall, though it has never tried to get in. He points at a gate. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them the rope instead. He scratches his head. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. I don't see a watchtower in here. Oh, it probably mean the crates in the upper left. The watchtower? He gives you a long, puzzled look. Oh, here! He points to the pile of crates. I knew it! Just climb up to the tallest one. You'll have a great view of the northern side. The more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. He points at the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple of hours sleeping on the ground if you wish. Go there after me and rest, just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. I'll smile and say thanks a lot. You guys are nice. You put your blanket on in the tallest crate and sit down. Suddenly, the area that was blackened outside of the camp is visible now. Either because we're some kind of weirdo with night vision but not day vision, or because we're on top of the crate and we can actually see out there now, where there's a little archery range. There's a mug outside on a rock next to the pile of logs. And there's this weird flower plant and a mushroom. I think that's a mushroom, that could be rocks. Anyway, there's also a path north, but that door is closed. The door was closed when we came in, too. Interesting. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. Okay. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. That was an interesting sound. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, you see a 3-horned deer trying to challenge one another. Oh, you see 3-horned deer, multiple 3-horned deer. Before they clash their antlers, a 2-legged dragonling appears, leaving its much smaller offspring. The fur beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight nor to admit their defeat. I mean, realistically, that is more like that they're probably not going to turn their back on what they may consider danger or predator and thus get rushed from behind, because even with people, at least I remember reading historically, a lot of kills and at least old melee combat and the like were when people turned their back and fled, because it's a lot easier to go after someone when you can't see their eyes. Anyway, I don't let it distract me. I keep looking around. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a gray hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there, watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you've had enough, you climb down and go to a tent, waking up the bearded man, with just a couple of words. You confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the pallet, and cover myself with a cloak, then plug into the outlet. Sleeping in a tent is not the stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcomed rest, and better than the ground outside that we were promised earlier. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. New journal entry: explore the peninsula. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula. Learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Hovlavan officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery, or all the things they mentioned to us when we were talking to them 5 minutes ago? At least I have time. 40 days as selected from the new game stream. To be exact, I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Havlavan. There you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. Ooh. So we can focus on gathering coins, so I can help someone I care about. Coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. Connections to become a major player in the Merchants Guild. That sounds nice. Remembered as the soul who brought peace and order to this realm, we can try and become a hero. We can also just try and help people, make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. Or we can try and be forgotten by making a new... You know what, we're going to help people. New shelter unlocked. New entry, help others. Alright, you can't travel during the night. Press the sleep button to rest. Don't tell me what to do. Oh. Let's say click. All I can do now is rest, but you can't click that. You have to actually go and click sleep. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious, though the pleasant, humid, late summer air evens it out slowly. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. They haven't invented anxiety medications yet. Sleep. Sleeping in a tent. You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain, and the ground won't be painfully hard nor cold. Okay, so we get statistics. We get no healing in here. I'm guessing we get 1/3 of our mana back. We lose 2 food, and we lose 1 cleanliness thing. We don't need to eat now, and we can't click on inventory. Oh, we can click back. There we go, Pneuma. You can use your magical amulets to cast spells, so we'll get full Pneuma by sleeping here, but we're going to lose 1 cleanliness and 2 food, and we aren't going to heal at all. Alright, sleep. Doop, doop. You take a look around at your amulets. Oh, we don't lose hunger. I'm guessing we... Are we losing nourishment by sleeping, or are we losing food? I'm guessing we're losing nourishment. You take a look at your amulets. For most people, they would be nothing more than trash, but you wouldn't sell them for a pouch of dragon bones. Use them to shape Pneuma to your will. With these little mementos, the few spells you're familiar with are far more reliable. Who knows, maybe there's already some power held in them. You look at the old, though clean bandages that remember dozens of herbal balms and wounds. You can put them on your hurting muscles, bruises, and scratches, then hum an old song about time, which either heals all wounds or kills us too soon to let us bother with our problems. After a few hours or so, the linen will warm up, confirming it did its job. The tent may not be much, but your spell would make you feel as good as new, though you'd lose some of your energy. We can keep our soul stronger than our shell, or we can avoid restoring any Pneuma. See, does good as new just mean vitality? Does it mean vitality, nourishment, and appearance? I'll keep my soul stronger than my shell for the moment. I'm not sure which things that'll improve. You're woken up by sunlight, well rested and ready. Man, this really is a fantasy world. Well rested. Without haste, you gather your things. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell, like a roast. No, burning meat. Burning, rotten meat. Disgust crawls into your consciousness. You exit the tent. Your horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left them. You see an open gate. Oh, no. I go outside to see what's happening. Oh, okay, they're still here. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tulia is the first one to address you. Leto, she greets you with a nod. We used the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or a female, but it was an adult. The burning process won't be over for a couple more hours. A traveler or an undead? Also, why so close to the camp? Because you woke me up with that smelly stuff. The latter, a young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now it took a couple of hits to knock her down. Alright, so the undead are very powerful here. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice, it's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, villagers, mayors, even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Tulia calls this undead a she. Most Unites hesitate to do so. Time for me to leave! Running away from the reek, huh? I don't blame you. She walks with you for a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asterion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell mocked in a number of songs and tales, but yet you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. I prepare myself for the journey. Use your travel button to see the map and move to another area. You somehow miss the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed up. You double-check the equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. The soldiers were diligent. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. You put on your gambeson and make sure that your axe is tightly attached to your belt. Then get in the saddle. The palfrey knickers, ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads, north from here. I need to ride northwards. Our people are hesitant to trust us because our face is dirty. What if they themselves have dirty faces? Also, where's my food inventory? You know what? We should probably eat elsewhere because I think the food rations were valuable. You have a winged hourglass, a steel pendant hanging from a leather strap. It's common to wear such jewelry to demonstrate one's allegiance to the right. Church of the 10 Cities. Okay, it's used in temples and funeral rites, but also decorate expensive stuff. Alrighty, whatever. Buy the game and read that. There's a lot of cool stuff here. Oh, wow. Travel forward to continue journey. Once you're done in the north, speak with Tulia and return to Hovlevan. So we leave from here and we come back here. Nice, we even got a map key, which I'm sure is going to expand further as we go along. Traveling northward. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gurgles coming from further down the path. You soon find the pack of four-legged griffins. They're larger than foxes, and merge the features of bird and furred beasts. Each one is of a different size, coat, and colors, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have darker fur. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. About 24 beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. I consider my options. You can't enter the forest blindly. Oh, If these or other creatures were to chase after you, the thicket would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay as close to the main roads as possible, and why adventurers move in groups. Usually the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up to a couple hours. You're thinking about your conversation with Tulia. You've got a lot to do, and any time may be of the essence. Alright, if you have enough Pneuma, you can cast spells to access unique interactions. The dice icon marks the actions that involve a random chance. So I can take my axe and hurry the horse. If we ride fast enough, we should be fine. I could stay here, better safe than sorry. Spells. Grab an amulet and shape a missile of life. A harmless flare will frighten them off. Alright, we're doing that. 1/5 of their Pneuma. Remember about your character abilities on the character sheet. We'll do that in a minute. You grab one of your oldest amulets, a pendant made of leather and a single dim pearl. The little sphere is covered by cryptic engravings, but if there's any special meaning behind them, you are never able to find out what it could be. Holding the pearl between your fingers, you feel the pleasant, familiar warmth. The spell you are about to cast is not much more than a mere illusion, but you take a couple of breaths, trying to minimize any risk of failure. The Pneuma leaves your shell, formed into a white ball that you barely comprehend. When it falls next to the griffins, for a couple of blinks it emits dazzling light. The animals squeak and snarl, fleeing in multiple directions at once. The road is clear now. You have obtained the power of flares! In a few hundred years, everyone will be able to use this with a weapon called a flare gun. But for now, only you, because only you can Pneuma ye. Healing ritual. Any of you don't speak? Okay, so the healing ritual only works on vitality. Good to know. There's cleanliness when you sleep or engage in tiresome activities. Wash yourself in safe water, and you can get probably soap. You will do so more efficiently with special equipment, like soap or a sponge. Right? Our faith is undetermined. The strength of your religious conviction is measured by your actions and judgments. Huh. Depending on your beliefs, saving and sparing animals either makes you a weakling or soothes your soul. We have told no lies yet. Quick benefits may turn against you after some time. Some lies are difficult to pull off for an unexperienced liar. We have no sewing experience. We have no gambling experience. We have no combat experience. Alright. That's all nice. I ride forward and enjoy the torch of my pendant. It cools down slowly. Oh, the touch of my pendant. Keep track of your achievements as your journey unfolds. We have unlocked the achievement, The New Adventure. The road splits. According to what the soldiers have told you, you may find a safe inn by turning left. The forest to the right is lush, and the trail overgrown. Kids used to have this song. How did it go? The harshest pathway leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasure, do you truly dare? The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write, for folks who can't read. Covered in old red paint, it points east. Blood there, as people say, danger to be found. There's not a soul to ask for guidance. Huh. Safe and left. I'm gonna look at my horse. What's your horse's name? Sodal? How about Soda? Soda Trot. Soda Trot is peaceful as you stroke its mane. Maybe it can't help you choose the path, but you've spent many years together. Happy to go on, it takes a couple of steps forward. You spot a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages, but they still need at least 2 weeks to gain maturity. I feel like I should write that down, but I'm not going to. Explore east, explore west. Let's go west to that inn. Soda Trot trots with ease, unbothered by a few branches covering the beaten road. The bird songs and distant howl. I'm already regretting naming it Soda Trot. The bird songs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparser and brighter. You spot boars, roe deer, and saurians. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you. You explained what a griffin is, but not what a saurian is. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hips forward and your palfrey enters a canter, the beasts don't even begin a pursuit. The speed alone will protect you from many dangers. You enter a stone tower, taller than trees. Thankfully, your speed will protect you from many dangers, and you are not so fast that you will run through the forest and hit a branch by some plucky rebel trying to keep you from building your super weapon that will help you bring peace to the galaxy. Luke Skywalker, you are a monster. Anyway, it must be the end I've heard about. Inns like this one fit the regions traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of this size in a forsaken peninsula. The stone and lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers, guarded by expensive mercenaries, surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet, subsisting on salted supplies. There are seemingly no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide if not in the buildings. Then, at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put into this fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people are on the ramparts, but you only see what's above their waistline. They're leaning on the parapet, right next to the gate, and you think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They were Gambesons. Each one of them died differently. Yellow, green, and then in gray. Could they be men? They could also be centaurs, or even mermen. After all, we only see them from the waist up. Perhaps they are target dummies. I approach the gate. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair, pointing in every possible direction. This combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly. I haven't seen a horse for years now. I just said that it's weird to see such a large jackass. Huh! Her voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of the villages spread around Holvan, who are clearly kind of stereotypical and very strange. But no jackass would ever wear a saddle, I'd say. She exchanges a few words with a male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer. Well, this one here says there really are donkey saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? It's extremely hard, and don't you forget it. Oh, it's so hard, my ass hurts and my balls hurt, and it's just so terrible. It is of mediocre difficulty. Supportive and cordial. Oh, we have actual responses. I forgot about that. How about you give it a try? Laugh and say, you wouldn't believe it, the lessons were a pain. Oh. It's easy to learn the basics, but it's tiring. You train different muscles than those for combat. I don't answer him. It's an inn, isn't it? Open the gate! Quite hard, honestly. Some days are still rough. You were going to be friendly. How about you give it a try? Because we're here to make friends. She gasps. Seriously? Just a moment. She disappears behind the wall soon after that. The gate is opened. While you dismount next to the wood splitting spot, a couple of people surround you, pointing at your mount and commenting on its appearance, though they step away whenever Soda Trot makes a rapid movement. The guard in the yellow armor is the only one who steps forward. She raises her hands as if to pet your palfrey, but doesn't touch it. It looked smaller from above, she whispers loudly. How do I even get up there? It's not easy when you lack confidence. Confidence is all you need, because this is the rule of cool. Better use a stool, or I can help you. She touches the animal, which pays no attention to her presence. Now I'm really scared. She contradicts her words with a gentle smile and shining eyes. Maybe I should wear something lighter? You nod and engage a bit of a chit-chat with the entire group, discussing what it takes to care for a horse. Finally, the red-haired woman leads you under the roof where your palfrey can rest, tethered with cord to a wooden post, near some old hay. Once you're ready, go inside and speak with our boss. Maybe you're hungry? Is she gonna steal my horse? The other guards return to various chores. I want my horse back by sundown, ma'am. I said you could ride it. I didn't say you could joyride it. You can trot around inside here, but don't you dare leave the gates with my horse. You better not put any dents in it, too. It's really hard to get a dent in a horse, and don't scratch the coat. I know they grow back, but it's still, I spent like so much getting a buff shine job on that thing. I just took it through the drive-through horse wash before it came out here. The other guards return to various chores. They peek at your mount every now and then as they're splitting firewood, cleaning the clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving for chairs. 2 of them are making a rope. 3 of them are reading a book on how to prepare horse meat. You head towards the inn, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. I opened the door. New shelter unlocked. Stratton Inn in the morning. You can spend the entire day on resting. Oh, that's nice to know. 13 hours and 30 minutes before dusk. Day 1, 39 days before autumn. The locked windows make the air stuffy, and the weak fire in the stove hardly lightens up the hall. A muscular man is sweeping the floor near the stairs, but after he glances at you, he leans the broom against the wall and heads behind the counter. Okay, so this is the guy we don't make jokes at. You're lucky to show up. His voice is deep and soft, with a city-like accent. He observes you with keen attention, yet avoids your eyes. I have a keg of decent ale, wormwood, bog myrtle, juniper berries, cat's foot. He fills a mug carefully and puts it on the countertop. It's going to spoil soon, today maybe, and we don't drink here before the even. I hate to see the good stuff going to waste. His skin is dark, almost purple, rare even among the southern tribes, and his hair is naturally bluish. His clothes are quite fancy for manual labor. The elegant tunic wouldn't stand out in the city square. Perhaps if he hadn't eaten so many eggplants, his skin wouldn't be purplish. As for the blue hair, he is clearly rich to afford hair dye in these times. I stand at the counter. The planks let out a creak after every step you make, so you slow down a bit. You could swear that the innkeeper made little to no noise. Here you go. He pushes the mug forward. But just so you know, my pelt of the north doesn't belong to Hovlevan. You can sleep on the floor if you wish so, but if you want a better meal, you have to pay. We have some leftovers from dinner, but I'd need to check. So we can say, thanks for the drink. I see you know how to make friends with a Roadwarden. Playful, happy to help. As a Roadwarden, I'm more than capable of taking care of the entire task if you need me to. I won't stay here for long. I'm not here to pay compliments to piss in a mug. I'm a Roadwarden and I'm looking for answers. Thank you. I'm a Roadwarden, so I'd never refuse a free drink. Thanks for the drink. I see how you know how to make friends with a Roadwarden. Meet your eyes with a puzzled look, then grabs a wet cloth and starts to wipe down the shelves. From time to time, your conversation is interrupted by splashes of dirty water in a wooden bucket. Well, nothing is truly free. I have work for a soul of the road, but I don't need a new mouth to babble. He speaks slowly, yet audibly. I value my time, and you should value yours. I guess we won't ask questions. I'll just drink the ale. The dark room and wooden walls of the mug make the liquid look as brown as a chestnut. The delay in spring hits your nose, and the first sip is even too complex, too flowery. While the brewer has used fancy ingredients, the exotic licorice ruins the aftertaste. Now you know why there's so much left. Maybe it takes an acquired taste. The innkeeper nods. I was hoping to see someone willing to patrol the roads. Maybe you'll help me with a worrying thought I have. Which is? There are brigands in the woods. Our place is a stronghold, so I'm not afraid of an open strike, but they've gotten more active in the last 2 years. One day they may steal our furs, and I've no doubt they're the reason why merchants come here only once. Having bandits around gets expensive. He rubs his hands together, camouflaging his paws. I want you to reach Howler's Dell, northwest from here. It's the largest settlement around. I'm sure you'll get there sooner or later. Ask Ty, the mayor, about Glaucia, that bloodthirsty wolf of a woman. I've heard rumors about a raid in the north. If Glaucia is ready to break the truce with the locals, I'm willing to join forces with them to get rid of her band. He looks at a nearby dragon bone. Not too difficult, right? Just do it when you have a chance. A couple of days won't make much of a difference. I'll pay you 2 coins when you get back with the news. Fine? 3. Just for a moment. 2, he growls. Huh. Do you eat something? Do you have any leftovers? What do you have for sale? What do I have? I got coins. I don't think I have anything I want to sell. So... I'm looking for Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. Are you now? He goes to the table and invites you to sit down with him. I don't think I'm going to be of much help. He rests his elbow on the table and grunts quietly to clear his throat. But I do want you to find him, so... When asked about his intentions, he measures his words. Asterion and I made a risky deal. Well, a very promising one. Last time he was here, he took 50 coins, my half of the investment. He knocks on the table with a fist, anxiously. If you get my coin, or at least find out what happened to the guy, I'll make sure you won't be disappointed after bringing me the news. Could it be that Asterion stole the coins and ran away? He looks at a window and starts to play with a shutter. I just think Asterion ain't the kind of soul that would do such a thing. For him, it wasn't much of a fortune, and I'd risk saying had earned my trust. Not only mine, you know. It's easy for a Roadwarden to make connections. He always had places to go, things to take care of. He rubs the table with his thumb, as if trying to clean an invisible stain. I've asked travelers, I've sent a couple of my pals to find him. No real news. I know he stayed with the White Marshes for a day and was meant to do something for the people there. It's a village in the northwest. Just stay on the main road until you reach the bogs, then enter them. You may get there before dusk. So let me know once you find anything, and we may return to this whole investment thing. I'll think about it. About Glaucia's band. He freezes, observing your hand silently. He wants me to get the answers from the Mayor of Howells then. I'm on it. Oh, okay. Never mind. I was asking something. What do you have for sale? I can go and pick a few things for you. Some food for your travels to start with. Apples, nuts, sausage. Not too many at once. We need to maintain our supplies. I've got an elk fur I don't need. Its buyer was caught by a pack of red wolves. Nice for a sleeping spot, just as nice for a wall. An almost untouched bowl of soap. Priceless for a traveler. We can't tell if he's being sarcastic, but we do have an appearance stat, and we do know that soap will help us wash our face and become less awful looking and better appearance and better trust people. Made of fine oak ash, strong, though you should have some better supplies before you start your own bathhouse. After you mentioned like something more useful on these roads, he looks down. I don't have any blades or armor to spare, but if you pay well, you can take one of our crossbows and a bunch of quarrels. A yew-bow, wool cords, and the trigger needs just a little bit of oil. It's as good as you can get it without soaking it in magic. It takes a bit of muscle to draw, but even a 16-year-old could handle it. It won't sell it cheap, but I'm ready to give a discount to a helpful ally. Okay, so we can get... Wow! Either this stuff is expensive or I am really poor. 3 meals for 1 coin. We're buying that. We can buy more tomorrow because they don't sell it all at once. We're definitely buying the oak balm that burns skin longer on longer. Okay. Danger soap. Thank you, sir. Any rumors worth sharing? Cross his arm. I don't like to talk about people who ain't nearby. Show me first that you're someone worth changing habit for. Let's ask about leftovers. Yes, I feed them to our boar. I won't give them away for nothing. He tells you to wait, then leaves the building for a few minutes and returns with a wooden bucket and a long stick ending with a hook. Go through the gate and turn left. You'll see a bunch of bushes. We need some berries. Bring me a bucketful and you'll be done in half an hour or so. Your horse could use a nap anyway, and I'll prepare something to fill you. The hook is not made of metal or wood. It's a long, curved claw, almost black. Huh. Well, it's 1300 now. I reach for the tools. Half an hour? That's quite a lot for berry picking. I won't do that. Do I look? Yeah, we're going to do that. Tools are cold, not too heavy. You notice a pair of thick gloves at the bottom of the bucket. The berries are not a problem, the innkeeper smirks. Unlike the snakes. Better scare them away with a stick or move them with a hook. And protect your hands. Little ones won't eat you, but don't get bitten. I'm sure you know how to be patient. Alright, I'll go right away. You step outside. Soda Trot is fighting off flies with its tail. You hear the sound of work coming from the armorer's workshop. I approach the guards. And we're going to save there. And we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.